Okay, so we're here with the members of the defending Division III AA and defending Division III state champion Alemany girls basketball team. Before we get started, we're going to introduce the young ladies in the front row from left to right: Jasmine Dodd, Alayah Byers, Breanna Calhoun, Genessa Bedoya. Back row from left to right: Hannah Johnson, Adaora Obi, Tokuhara and Georgia Perris. Ladies, obviously a lot of excitement, a lot of expectations ahead for this group coming in this year. Breanna, we'll start with you, being one of the integral members of last year's state championship team. What do you think the biggest challenges are that face this group? Not only in terms of the schedule that you're playing, but just every day in practice when you know that you're not only your best effort is demanded every day, but that you're gonna get the best effort from everybody that you play on the schedule.
I think that we will be fine. We just need to communicate, and as far as like rebounding and stuff and getting points like off the board and shooting wise, we need to pick it up there.
Okay. Alayah, last year was such a marathon for this team. I mean, it's so early in the season, and yet obviously you think to how long the season went for you guys to accomplish winning CIF, winning the regionals, and winning state. How do you guys kind of just measure yourselves and pace yourselves as a group in terms of not getting too high or too low with something that happens in December or January, because obviously you have aspirations of playing in February and March? How do you guys kind of balance that and measure that and pace yourself as a team?
We just like to stay humble, and it doesn't matter like what happens now. We just got to keep on looking at the future, because a win is only a win as long as you won, but in the future you're not going to always win, so you got to make sure you stop looking at the past and look at the future.
Jasmine, along with that humility, there's a lot of pride and a lot of like self-motivation. This group is very self-driven, and Coach Brian Camacho talks about just getting better each day. You know, if it's in one particular play or one particular aspect of the game. Is that the only way that this group can reach those end goals, is just by keeping it really simple and really, kind of compartmentalized? Like we'll take care of like a victory each day, whether it's in practice or a game, to get us to the big victory at the end?
I believe that every day we should work hard, because if we work hard, then we will succeed in the end, because we can't fool around in practice either. So if we fool around, then the next game, then we'll do horrible. So we always have to work hard, and we have to stay focused all the time.
Okay. Hannah, what do you think? Because when you win a CIF championship and a regional championship and a state championship and share a Mission League championship, there's a huge amount of expectations that come with that. I think probably your peers on campus, the people in and around the Valley, the people in Southern California, like they're just going to expect that when you have this collection of returning talent and you add somebody the caliber of Kate to a roster like this, people are just going to expect like it magically happens again. But obviously you guys know that it doesn't come without doing the grind every single day. What in your mind, because I know how driven you are individually as a leader and as an athlete, what's the expectation for this group this year?
Well, most definitely we have high expectations, because we're basically returning everyone. We're missing a big key of our offense from last year, but we still have really talented players that we're returning, and our transfer is very talented also. So I have high expectations for my team as well. So I didn't, even though we're coming back and we're losing two of our players from last year, I didn't lower the standards for the team. So we definitely have high expectations here, and with our schedule, we have a tough schedule, and that even proves that we have high expectations for ourselves.
Adaora, how does that take place? Even back, let's go back to the summer, when you guys finally, everybody's doing their travel thing and whatnot. But the times that you did get to play together during the summer representing Alemany, and then obviously when school gets back in and the fall and stuff like that, did you sense that energy was right there again? That this group was like, ready to take on those challenges and climb those mountains all over again, or is that going to kind of, even as well as you guys know each other, that's still going to kind of take some time to evolve and develop and build up over the course of the season? Because when you come off such a high like that, was it like we're ready to go after it again, or is it going to take some time to kind of to build up to that all over again?
Yeah, I think since summer when we came back, I think we still had like the same mentality, like we want to win a game. So we're just going hard out there, and we still have to keep our focus and everything and stay on the same page. So yeah.
Okay. Georgia, Hannah mentioned that you guys lost two really key elements in the backcourt last year with Leslie Lopez-Wood and Clarissa Larios. But with that being said, obviously there's an amazing collection of talent here, and even the ones that aren't here. So what would you say are the biggest strengths of this team? Maybe first and foremost, in terms of it seems like depth is one. But what do you think are the biggest strengths of this team going into this season?
Well, I think we work really well together on and off the court. So our team chemistry really helps us out during the games. And I think our guards are really strong, and same with our posts. We can really finish.
Okay. Genessa, is there any, obviously this group has so much fun playing together, challenging each other, pushing each other, just really embracing what it means to compete together as a group. Not to say that there any sense of vulnerability or what, but since it's so early in the season and since this group still has so many miles to go together, what do you look at if you're taking yourself out of the gym and like you're looking at Alemany from outside? Are there any areas of concern or any areas that you feel like, hey, these are the things that we need to be better in order to meet or exceed the goals that you guys had from last year?
I think leadership is the biggest thing. Like Hannah's a good leader. Like everyone here is like could be a good leader, but like Leslie brought just that intensity that was different and like consistent. Like and like us, like we're close and everything, but like sometimes it's just off. Like if we have bad days, like we're not that type of person. Just like to yell like Leslie. So we just need to pick the leadership up, and I think that's the only thing.
Bree, for you or for Genessa or Georgia or any of the guards, but Bree, I'll direct it to you first and foremost. Is it how does the dynamic change in terms of the distribution of offense or the distribution of roles when obviously you guys had the great inside-outside presence last year? You know, when you have Hannah and Adaora, and then you mesh it with you, Genessa, Georgia, Alayah, Jasmine, and Clarissa and Leslie. How does the distribution of responsibility or the distribution of offense come into play this year when you're trying? I mean, obviously, Kate is a huge asset in that, but how does that work this year in comparison to last year's team?
Well, I mean, as far as like distributing the ball and stuff, I mean, we're all guards. We're not like really set on exact like numbers. Like we all have different roles that we play, but as far as like contributing the ball to our shooters, like I think everybody can shoot the ball. So we're as a guard, like we just find our like whoever's hot that game or whoever we think that the play would be good for, and just evenly distribute the ball. And as far as like getting into our posts and stuff, we still have like the presence there. So I mean, down low, as long as we get into the post, we know that they're gonna go to work. We have faith in our teammates. So and for the shooters, we believe in them. So they'll hit it. They'll knock it down.
For Georgia or Genessa, is this team going to be as reliant on the three-pointer as last year, or going to have to be as reliant on the three-pointer as last season?
I don't think we have to be as reliant because our posts are pretty strong. But I mean, we still need that shot. We still need that three-pointer to help us out.
Genessa?
Yeah, we need to be like if you go inside and then like they try to stop that, like you can kick it back out and you can hit down like knock down that three-pointer. Like it needs to be there.
Yeah. Well, I didn't expect it to go away. Let's put it that way. Kate, for you to come in to a program that has a state championship in its trophy case, and obviously has that level of expectation. First of all, what excites you about the challenge to come in and contribute to a team like this?
When I first came here, after I moved, it was kind of intimidating that they won, but then the girls brought me in really. So I'm excited for their like aggressiveness when I came here, their speed, the posts, entries, shots, stuff.
Is this style of play something that you feel like favors you and allows you to flourish in a situation. I like to call it controlled chaos. Does that kind of favor the way that you like to play, or where you think you can be an asset to this group?
Yeah, I love it. I love the speed we have up and down the court.
And in terms of when a group has so much experience and so many people that played so many crucial minutes last year, not only during the regular season but the playoffs, in terms of finding your role and your identity, how has that gone for you, not only during the summer but so far in the fall and with the start of the season?
I think I'm still finding my role and my how I play, but I've been trying all the positions, really. So, yeah.
Okay, Hannah, and you had mentioned this actually last week in an interview, the depth of this group. And in one of the games in the tournament, no player here or otherwise scored more than 7 points in a game. Is it last year's group had to be so reliant on depth, whether it was because of injuries, whether it was because of foul trouble, because of the matchup, of teams that you were playing? How would you assess the depth of this group in comparison to last year?
Last year we were dependent a lot on the shooters, and me as well. So we didn't have as many people score last year as we see this year, that we have a lot of people scoring more, because each player we know plays their own role that they have to do. So we have more scorers than we do last year, I believe. Even though we did have an amazing three-point shooter, I still think that this year we have more depth and we have more people who can score more.
Okay, Jasmine, the fact that you had your moments in the postseason, Alayah. I mean, there were so many people that just latched onto roles last year, and it was so significant in certain moments and certain teams that you guys played. How much is this the sum of the parts and and all the way down the bench? How important or how instrumental is that going to be for the team to find that success this year?
This year, everyone's role is very important. I believe that everyone knows their role and can do well in their role. They just have to stick to it, but they're doing well.
Okay. Alayah, you took on such a great defensive presence and identity, especially in the playoffs last year, especially in the state playoffs last year. Talk to me about where you feel like this group's at defensively right now, and maybe how far they have to go because any Brian Camacho coach team is better play defense or they're not going to be playing. So where do you feel this group's at defensively right now?
I feel like we're pretty strong defensively. I mean, of course, we all have some areas we need to work on, but right now we're actually pretty solid, I feel, defensively. It could be a little bit more tougher, when it comes to diving on balls, but that just comes, the season going on.
Right. And Adaora, Hannah talked about in terms of, where you guys need to be in terms of post presence. Kind of give me, a quick capsule or a quick synopsis of where you feel not only the two of you, but just the group of posts as a whole are in terms of, how they're going to be incorporated and how they're going to contribute with this year's team.
Can you elaborate a little bit?
I mean, how important is your role and Hannah's role, and obviously, those, because I mean, with the schedule that you guys are going to be playing, the posts are going to have to show up. How important is it, do you feel, not only just the two of you, but the collection of posts as a whole is going to be in this year's team success?
I think it's really important because, like you mentioned, we're playing a tough schedule, tough teams, and other tough post players too. So we're going to have to be tough down there and grab those boards and be able to score with contact.
I think working together too is a big thing. Me and Adaora, being able to pass it to her from high post or her pass it to me from high post. I mean, if they can't, and we can both shoot the ball also, so that's good if they're going to back up on one of us if we're high post. So I think if we that high post look is something that's is going to be very important this year also.
Okay. Speaking to that schedule, Breanna, for you guys, you already have one really solid tournament under your belt. Obviously, it's not going to get any easier with Country Day tournament, non-league games, against so many of the best teams in the state. what about that challenge it excites you guys the most? Because obviously the goal here isn't to go undefeated. The goal is to win your last game. So what about that challenge excites you the most?
As far as us going in, like knowing that we're going to play hard teams and knowing the way Coach Camacho teaches us and how our defensive plays in, I feel like if we all play our roles and our style of play, like running up and down and going out there and just giving it our all, I think that we should be pretty solid as far as defensive playing, and that will lead into our offense because defense wins games. So we should be pretty good on that side.
Kate, when you came and you saw the schedule that this team played, can it be a little bit intimidating, or is this part of the reason why you came here because you knew you'd have the privilege of playing that schedule?
Well, I came here because education purposes, but when I saw the schedule, I was actually excited, to be honest.
Okay. Well, yes. Let's not forget that these young women are student athletes, first and foremost, and very good ones at that. Georgia, how do you guys just kind of take the schedule in terms, just there's a game against Adaora, and once we worry about Adaora, then we worry about the country day tournament, and then when that's over, we move forward because because there's so many challenges and so many demands being placed on you guys. How do you guys kind of take it as a task to task, day to day type of thing?
Well, we have to be balanced and organized, and I think that we have study hall, so we work whenever we can before practice and then after. So we have to stay on top of our studies.
Okay. Genessa, one of the most exciting aspects, I think, of your schedule, one of the most exciting rivalries, in any sport, in the Valley, is when you guys will play Chaminade twice in the league, and obviously you got to play them 3 times last year, and I think it really elevated the profile of girls basketball. I know it's a long ways away, but indulge me and just talk about why that rivalry is so meaningful for you guys, or why do you think it's so important for girls basketball?
I think we both want it so bad. Just our crowds and everything. They hype us up, and Camacho just hypes us up in the locker room, and we just go out there and play and try to win.
Hannah, you had made a point last year, even the game at Chaminade, that you guys unfortunately lost. But just looking around and just being part of that, it's like, I think you even said to me that it's like, hey, on the scoreboard, we lost, but I mean, look at what this did for girls high school basketball. I mean, it is definitely a privilege to be in an environment like that, right?
Oh yes, just having our school out there to support us, and just having a crowd there, that just shows even the respect of women's basketball. That just shows right there that people are coming out there to watch us and support us, and that's just amazing.
For any of you, feel free to entertain a response on this. I looked at the season when the boys won the state championship, and they got moved up to 1AA, and unfortunately, circumstances dictated that because of the demands of their league, that they didn't have an opportunity to go to the playoffs the following year. Is that a learning experience for you guys in terms of how you handle that pressure or that responsibility?
Yes,
definitely.
Alayah?
Well, that's really sad what happened to the boys last year, but we all don't want that to happen to us this year. So last year's over, and this year it's time to keep on working hard and do exactly what we did last year to get where we were.
Right.
And I think, definitely it was a learning experience because even though we're all the same program and stuff, we came through and they won state and we fell short, but when they came back, they thought that they were just gonna do it all again. I mean, we have respect for them. We're all in the same school. We're there to support them and everything. But I feel we need it. It has to be continuous working hard. It can't just be oh, we won it and that's it. That's all we need. We have to keep working hard in order to succeed more in the future and just be successful again.
This year, the advent of, let's backtrack. Last year, they had the open division for the state playoffs. This year, they have brought it down to the southern section level, where there could be as many as 16 teams from Southern California. Obviously, you guys are an open division caliber team. You play an open division caliber schedule. You've now been moved up to 1AA, which is somebody's sign of respect that you are already at an open division level. Is it hard not to look that far ahead to that, or is that something that you guys talk about as a group? I mean, how do you deal with saying we need to worry about December or January or February or the Mission League and not get too far ahead, but also saying we need to play well enough for them to recognize us and honor us?
I think honestly, our preseason is preparing us for then. So we're not really talking about that as much. I mean, here and there we talk about it, but I think that if we playing against these teams before it gets to that, we're going to be prepared.
Yeah. Second.
Breanna, go ahead.
I also think that our coaching staff, we have great coaching staff, so they also prepare us for our future. But we have to take one day at a time. I mean, we can't jump ahead too far. But we also know what we have, like what we're going to have to challenge to face. So I think that our coaching staff will definitely get us prepared for the future.
Okay. Is there any worried about just the wear and tear and the demands of the schedule in terms of being able to stay on top of the studies, being able to stay fit and stay healthy? I mean, because you young ladies are essentially taking on like a college level schedule. I mean, obviously, and it's part of the privilege of playing for a program like this and playing for a defending state champion. But do any of you worry about still being able to be at your peak when the postseason arrives? Hannah, go ahead.
I think our team can handle it. Our coaches prepare us very well. Even before preseason, they're preparing us for it. And mentally, I think that's the biggest thing. Physically, we can all handle it, and we're mentally preparing for it. So I think we're good.
Alayah, were you?
I think we're all responsible young women, and we know how to balance our life, like Georgia said, and we all have above a 3.0. Like, we know how to handle our studies and still know how to go to work on the court. And, I mean, we've gone through this before, so coming back and going through the same type of schedule is no difference. Like, we're used to it.
Okay. The last thing, when winning has become such a part of the culture here, and not only winning, but winning the right way, handling yourself with class, handling yourself with, with dignity, and obviously showing respect to the game, respect to your opponents. Obviously, just carrying yourself the right way that from Mr. Ferry as the principal, on down to the coaching staff would expect you ladies to conduct yourself. With those things already being established, what is a satisfactory result or conclusion for you guys this year? Because when you checked off every box last year, Mission League, CIF, regionals, and state, I'm sure nobody wants to feel anything other than that this year. But Jasmine, I'll start with you, and I'm going to go around there. What's a satisfactory conclusion for this group this year?
Like on the court or in the classroom? Or
Could be both.
well, I believe that our team has strong grades, so we are strong in the classroom. And our team is very strong too. We have strong chemistry. We have strong aggressiveness on defense. So we'll be strong.
Okay, Alayah?
I feel that we're just ready to go. Like, that's all. Like, we're ready.
Okay. Breanna?
Okay, I feel that as long as we have like the Camacho style of play and everything, that everything will fall into place. I mean, he doesn't just throw us out there, so like we're prepared. We'll get prepared for anything that we have coming our way. And as far as like education, he makes sure that comes first. So he makes sure to always stay on our books and know like we have finals coming up, we have study hall before games. Like we'll be good as far as classroom and grades. And everybody knows that education comes first. So as far as like basketball, everything will fall into place.
Genessa, was a pretty amazing freshman year for you. How does one enhance that as a sophomore?
I just gotta keep working hard. Like, I'm done with the past. Like, obviously, like I'm happy we won, but just gotta keep pushing myself to do better and better.
Okay. Georgia, what about you? What's the thing that's going to make this, the most rewarding or most satisfactory for you?
Well, we need to take each game one game at a time, and so as long as all of us play to the best of our abilities, I think we'll do pretty good.
Okay. Kate, I'm sure you're wanting to come in and make a big splash and a big impact with this group. Looking down the line, what are you hoping to be able to contribute to or accomplish with this group?
I'm hoping I can make this team like a little stronger. Well, even though, yeah, like in the weight rooms, we've been hitting it hard. We get our extra hours practice, so hopefully that all contributes like inside the game.
Adaora, if we're having this conversation again in February or March, what are you hoping that this group either has accomplished or is looking forward to accomplish at that point?
Like who said, taking each game.
Georgia.
Like Georgia said. Yeah, and we gotta stay focused. We have Mission League, we have CIF, we have state. Hopefully we do great and all. And just battle. We're ready out here.
Sounds like a good analogy. And speaking of battling, the warrior, probably of all warriors, Hannah getting ready to go to Washington. What needs to be? How does the last chapter need to be written for you here?
Definitely. I ended my junior year with state, CIF, and Mission League championships. So we have high aspirations to accomplish that this year also, and that's our biggest goal. I mean, we want to get that Mission League, CIF, and state again. And so that's something that me and my team are looking for to happen in March, and also just ending out grade strong as a team. Not individually, but as a team, we all end with a 3.0 or above.
It sounds like a pretty awesome conclusion to me. Again, Jasmine Dodd, Alayah Byers, Breanna Calhoun, Genessa Bedoya, Georgia Perris, Kate Tokuhara, Adaora Obi, and Hannah Johnson, the members of the 2013-14 Alemany girls basketball team. Ladies, we appreciate your time and we wish you the best of luck.
Thank you. Appreciate it.